All right, I will call this session of the Climate Action Planning Committee to order. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. We have a lot of people here in person today. It's kind of fun. All right. I put public comment on the agenda as the second item, just in case. I don't, Al can't hear the meeting. Matt, can you hear the meeting?
Yeah, everything's fine on my side.
Okay. Maggie, can you hear the meeting?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
So, Hale, maybe it's on your side. If you click on the air, oh, you can't hear you. In type in chat. Silently. And we can't hear it.
I'll just continue taking care of the administrative stuff. Give him a second. So seeing nobody online for public comment, I'll move on to approval of the May meeting minutes. Anybody have any corrections or comments on the May meeting minutes?
I move the adoption, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt from Arthur and Steve seconds. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All abstaining?
I'll abstain because I wasn't there. Thank you.
Great. So that's 5. Does that pass? I don't know.
It's a majority of the quorum.
Majority of the quorum.
Fine.
Thank you for your Robert's Rules of Order knowledge. One of these days. I've been caring for 2+ years. So it'll get there. Okay. So, Hale, can you hear us?
Is he plugging or monitor? That's fine. Explain the sound.
Can we get him on the phone?
Let me see.
Maybe you can point him towards the arrow next to the audio symbol. That's often they pick the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah, never mind. I'll go next to him.
It might want to tell him also he could leave and try to dial back in. Sometimes it works.
Okay. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the energy manager's update. We have Kai Mueller, the municipal energy manager, here to give the energy manager's update.
Yep. The energy manager will start off by introducing and I will give the official title only once, the Clean Energy Legacy Transition Fellow.
Nice.
So now on Clean Energy Fellow, Eric Lachine, who joined us last week. Eric, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Eric Sheen, finance major at Mass School, just started last week, from Western Massachusetts. Have a little bit of background in construction, landscaping, worked on a net zero housing project in New Hampshire. So it's kind of what sparked my interest in like energy saving and clean energy. And yeah, I'm just excited to learn more about it, see how municipalities work. Yeah.
Awesome. Eric has run his own landscaping business, and this program that he's a fellow through, the Clean Energy Legacy Transition Program, is a state-funded program to help young graduates interested in clean energy enter a career in that field. And he will be with us for 6 months until beginning of December, 20 hours weekly, 10 with Randolph, where I also work, 10 with Milton, 1 in-person day in each town. Jay's the in-person day in Milton. And mainly he'll be working with us on communications projects. So his first big project is to look at the town websites of Randolph and Milton, look at the energy and climate pages, look what other towns do, identify improvements. Other communication projects that I'm thinking of are social media campaigns. Or if not a campaign, at least developing content, stuff for the town newsletter. And also maybe, hopefully, help jumpstart regular, maybe monthly energy savings office hours at a public place here in Milton, whether that's the Council on Aging, the or the senior housing development, Winter Valley, or the library. I'm not sure yet. We're starting that in Randolph next week. So hopefully some lessons can be applied from there to here in Milton. And I should also say that part of his work will maybe be with the planning department, depending on their needs on the climate action plan. And also, if you have any ideas, wishes, that's also definitely something worth considering.
I was gonna ask about that, whether you'd be able to help if we wanted to have a meeting with the public on, let's say, transportation and part of the climate action plan, get some feedback or put out some information.
So because the climate action plan is more in the planning department portfolio, they would be the better persons to speak with. But I think that would be a great way to use Eric's skills. Yeah,
At this week's meeting of the Waste Management Committee within CAPC, it's one of the working groups. I should develop a committee as a working group. We discussed the advantages of social media campaigns, and maybe we can piggyback all of the experience that you have with what you developed for energy, so that we maximize the resource that we have in you.
Definitely, the social media is a very big platform now, and it's definitely, I think the towns could definitely use it, utilize it more, it's obviously the right channels, but.
Cassandra's done a very good job sort of putting more content out on the DPW Facebook page. And we can,
And also in today's times.
I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
Milton and Dennis, and I said advertisement there.
I'm very excited about the idea of energy affordability office hours. Very, very excited. Something Sustainable Milton has talked about, so we'd be excited to partner with you. I think it's a little daunting, the idea of like as a volunteer, just well, I'll show up and I'll help people with energy affordability. So just a little bit of like formal support and lining up resources, I think will be good.
yeah,
We can do more if we work together, right? I'd love to drop by the Randolph one and see
yeah.
what's going on.
Yep, the first office hours, well, I should say that National Grid, unlike Eversource, has a range of positions called customer advocates, and their main responsibility is to go to these public places, sit together with lower income persons, especially, but not only, to help them get on the low income utility rate or electricity rate, and help connect them with other resources. And next week, what we're doing in Randolph is to bring the National Grid customer advocate together with our Mass Save Community First partner representative. Community First partnership is something where towns collaborate with nonprofits who do outreach to hard to reach communities like immigrants or low income households. So we will have the utility side, the Mass Save side. The utility person has expertise in explaining utility bills, which in itself is a very daunting and also fruitful endeavor. And so I sent Eric a 1 hour webinar from the Massachusetts Attorney General's office just about utility bills. Because that's, I think, one of the most effective ways and easiest ways Eric can help right away, help explain utility bills. Yeah, and
They're crazy.
I would envision something similar for Milton. Third-party suppliers, I don't know if I've told you about that term. That's something you'll have to look out for, that I'm sure there are plenty of Milton residents who are overpaying for their electricity because of third-party suppliers.
Actually, I did read a little bit about that.
Yeah, there's a
And
lot out there.
we have a community electricity aggregation program that offers a very competitive fixed price. That folks who are not already in contract with a third-party supplier were automatically opted into almost 6 years ago now. But that's definitely something to watch out for in Milton. People are overpaying relative to the town-sponsored program.
And do you envision these office hours to be like later in the evening after people get off work or during the day or?
That is something we will have to determine as we move forward. There are different arguments. It will depend on the venue. We're not at that point yet. In Randolph, for example, we agreed on Wednesdays between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. at the Intergenerational Community Center. However, at this Intergenerational Community Center, the seniors fought hard to have seniors only hours from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So there will be no young parents who will benefit from this first office hours. So now we're thinking about doing it at a different time, different place. It's in flux.
One thing, just an idea that passed through my mind was it could be something we could partner with faith communities in Milton to do.
Yeah,
If you sort of co-sponsored one with the synagogue, the
yeah.
Catholic Church, the United Congregational Church,
Yeah.
First Parish.
I mean, ideally, I really think it would be good to have something that reaches the biggest number of people on a regular basis, because really the regularity will draw people and be a resource for people. And then over time, depending on resources, we can expand it and raise attention. Yeah. That's
And if we can train volunteers to do it, then we can do it more often. And I think, today's era of overstuffed calendars, I think being able to repeat an event is really important.
And I will say one more thing to this. I think that so many of these, too much, in my opinion, or very much of Massachusetts' efforts on the climate side, even on the energy efficiency side, has focused on homeowners. Mass Save since its founding has mostly benefited homeowners, which tends to benefit middle class, higher income households. But really, the energy crisis is affecting lower income households, tenants, and these office hours would really be a first step towards reaching the lower 50% of the income scale on this energy question.
Do you have any other updates?
So that's for the CLT, the clean energy fellow side.
Very exciting update.
Yep. The second thing is the climate leader community status update. Thanks to the advocacy efforts of the Climate Action Planning Committee and Maybe Sustainable, Milton, and many others. We are very close to submitting the application. We, as the town of Milton, submitting the application by June 30th to be a climate leader community, one step up from the green community status. The select board approved both the municipal decarbonization roadmap and the zero emissions first vehicle policy. Zero emissions vehicle first, zero emissions vehicle first policy. The school superintendent needs to sign off both of those letters or both of those items. And then I will gather the documents, hopefully early next week, to upload them on the platform of the Department of Energy Resources, the state-led Department of Energy Resources, and we will submit it. And then we should, based on my current state of knowledge, we should be in a good position to obtain climate leader community certification, which ideally next year will provide us with funding for technical design and then actually money for implementing the projects resulting from the technical design. And which projects we will select, it'll be up to $1 million, which sounds like a lot, but really isn't that much. Still a good chunk. And which projects to select, we will be in a better position to decide that based on, and this is my next point, the comprehensive building assessments, these free in-depth studies of big buildings outlining pathways towards electrification. And we already got this CBA, this comprehensive building assessment for the biggest building of the town of Milton, the high school. We got different cost scenarios for HVAC electrification, ground source heat pump, air source heat pump, all in the range of $20 million to $50 million, excluding incentives, federal tax incentives, and not taking into account the cost of replacing the fossil fuel heating system. I actually don't have any numbers right now off the top of my head how much it would cost to replace boilers, because some of these school equipment heating systems are coming to the end of their life, and I don't know how much it'll cost to fully replace them. It will probably also be very, very high.
So they didn't give a baseline scenario where you replace
They
the
did
existing equipment with the same kind of equipment.
in the comprehensive building assessment of the high school, they did,
Okay.
but that would have been a good thing to do, yeah. So we're in the process of getting these CBAs for all other 4 school buildings in Milton. And we're starting to look at the MSBA accelerated repair program, which out of all state funding sources, the MSBA maybe has the biggest funding power for school upgrades, and it will always require a matching contribution from the municipality, which is why it's a bigger commitment question. I think 20 or 25 years ago, the town of Milton did a really great job at harnessing MSBA funding, and it ended up only paying 20% of the total project costs, which for a high income town like Milton was a great deal. It is not, maybe unlikely, maybe not to be expected for this next round, but it'll be worth looking into. Another item I have is that we're hopefully moving forward soon with EV charging stations here at Town Hall, and the Council on Aging. EV charging stations is pending. We'll hold off on that until the next year when Eversource publishes its new incentives, because it looks like the electrical infrastructure upgrades are going to be more expensive than we initially thought. So we're going to wait until next year to see how the Council on Aging EV charging stations can be financed. I'm sorry, I rushed through all that, but do you have any questions so far?
It's a lot of progress. I guess I'm curious, what the status of the solar projects
Yeah,
that were sort of, the ground was laid for at
Yeah.
the meeting.
yeah.
What's going on there?
Oh, right, so town meeting approved the possibility of solar power purchasing agreements at the fire headquarters, the library, and I believe another project.
The animal shelter.
The animal shelter. So at the fire headquarters, which was built solar ready, we still need to confirm details, but it seemed, and I'm new to many of the technical details. If a roof it has a slope that is greater than 5%, then additional attachment is required, additional fastening is required. And apparently the fire headquarters roof is exactly at 5%, which means that the engineers the structural engineers looking at how easy it would be to put solar panels on there are determining what the extra costs of that may be. It's not ideal, I will say, because it was built as a solar ready roof. Yeah, so it's we're trying to get more information from Select, the solar company, on the extra costs that might be involved.
So those would be costs for Milton, or would they be costs for Select that they'd sort of bundle into the price?
It would, so the electricity rate that they initially gave us at 6% per kilowatt hour was fantastic. It will probably not be as good following their new analysis. Yeah.
So the determining slope is 5% or above.
Yeah, anything above 5%, doesn't make it impossible, but it makes it less economical.
Or if we're at 5%,
The roof apparently is at exactly 5%.
so what I was hearing is above 5%.
Right,
So there's a gray area here, or,
right, which is why further discussions are needed.
okay, makes sense. Has there been any conversation about solar for the East Milton Fire Station?
No, I'm not involved in those discussions. I haven't, at least I haven't been to date. Yeah. On the animal shelter, I submitted a grant application for technical assistance to develop design specifications for solar panels and a battery storage system at the animal shelter. Let's see if we get that money.
But to go back to what Arthur just said about the East Mountain Fire Station. I guess I had the assumption that any new building the town was constructing would be, some level of LEED, or have the ability to be solar or heat pumps or thought through.
Yeah. So, I guess technically, even the fire headquarters is solar ready. They have, I'm blanking on the word right now. They have an extra section for cables to run through. Yeah, I'm forgetting the name. So in terms of the electrical infrastructure, it is solar ready. But the roof slope isn't made. It's a question at the end of the day of costs.
Yeah, sure.
If the town had $1 million, it could easily put the solar panels on there, fasten them properly, and it would be fine. But because we're dependent on this solar PPA from a private developer, they will have to look also at their margins.
No,
But just so in the case of a PPA, these are not costs to the town directly, it's cost to the solar developer who's gonna build and own the panels. And they had originally offered us 6 cents a kilowatt hour, which is sort of sized for them to amortize their costs and make a profit. And if they have to make a larger capital investment, it won't be 6, it might be 8
I
or
don't know.
9 or
Maybe,
10.
yeah.
Yeah, what do we pay for electricity? Currently?
Depending on the building, because each building has different buildings are in different electricity classes, but between 22 and 28 cents, I believe.
So, I mean, I think the headline should be, even if it's more than 6, it'll be a lot less than 22.
Very likely.
Yeah, So probably a cost saving,
Yep,
unless the costs are astronomical.
yep.
But just to be clear, so there's nothing, when they were architecting the new fire station, there was no requirement for them to do a cost differentiation analysis, how they're gonna heat the building or electrify the building. Was that the case?
Sorry, could you please repeat your question?
When they were working with the architect for that, was there any requirement that the town or the architect would have to provide an analysis saying, the construction cost would be X more if we did this greening, putting greener energy or heat pumps in it, but over time you would recover that versus, a larger, less of an upfront cost.
I'm not sure on that. So the planning for that happened long before I started. The only thing I know is that it was built as a solar ready fire headquarters.
Are you talking about East
East
Milton?
Milton.
Oh, East Milton.
It's the same fire station building committee though, right?
So there's no
So probably their architecture planning was. If they're building now, it's probably done before it.
And the roof is pretty steep.
It's steep.
Yeah. And maybe Brian Walsh is the chair of the fire station.
It
Public
sounds like we
Committee.
should connect with them, but just at a policy level, like Milton has adopted the specialized opt-in building code, which has provisions that encourage solar, but it doesn't require it. It does require electric service that's sort of adequate to support electric heating. So you don't have to start out with heat pumps, but you have to be sort of heat pump ready. Probably I would say solar ready as well, although that might be a technical term that I'm abusing. But I think if we want to know sort of what preparation was done for this, we should connect with the fire station building committee. Do you know Ryan Walsh?
And Brian Walsh.
We can maybe put us in touch.
Happy to. I can work with him.
That's it from my side.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to get these big substantive updates. And somebody's actually doing this for a living for a month. Stuff happens. Any other comments or questions?
I just want to appreciate you for getting us to this stage. It's excellent. So
Thank you.
That's a good
exciting. Yeah.
Yes.
But I also, again, I want to make clear that the legwork for the climate leader community status was mostly done by engaged citizens, stuff like the opt-in specialized building code. I'm sure there was lots of work and many emotions went into that discussion. I was happy not to have it.
It's been a team effort to be sure, and it's exciting to get to this point. Look forward to hearing that the superintendent has signed on. So that's the last step. To access the resources to do the work. Well, the next item on the agenda is committee membership and reappointments for the 2026-2027 term. So I just want to share, who's leaving. So Ron Israel, Kyle Johnson, and Matt Panucci have all elected to not serve next term. I think you saw in the chat that Matt is moving out of town. And we will have one new member, Stevie Caldwell from the school committee, who's been appointed by the school committee to serve with us, and was going to try to make it this evening, but had other things on the calendar. So look forward to working with her very much. The rest of you have all agreed to serve another year, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And all of your intentions have been forwarded to the select board. And I expect they proactively reached out and gave me a deadline, so I'm expecting that'll get brought up in a select board agenda before the end of the month, those reappointments, and I'll let you know when that's done. So there, I think we'll have a quorum. Anna and Hale are both willing to move up from associate memberships to voting members. But we still have a lot of vacancies. So my intention is to continue recruiting new folks to fill those vacancies over the course of the summer. We've had quite a few vacancies for a while now, though, so if we really can't fill those seats by the fall, I may ask the select board to amend the charge again to kind of make it a little easier to meet quorum and get work done.
The chamber position has not been filled, has it? Chamber,
The Chamber of Commerce position hasn't been filled ever. We had the high school student seat, which I would really love to see filled.
Sure.
And I've done the first and second thing to try to fill it, but I think if we all kind of reached out into their networks of the young people in our lives, maybe we would have a chance of filling that.
the environmental science courses.
That's where I started, yeah, and that's how we got Reagan. I reached out to the teacher of the climate crisis class at the high school, and she had a name on the tip of her tongue, and Reagan joined us. I'll say I think municipal committee work is slow and at times frustrating even for grown-ups. So like turning it into something that makes sense for a high school student and where they can sort of understand what their contribution is and what they're going to get done over the course of the year would help.
Two of the thoughts that I might be able to help you with this.
Yes.
One is to see whether or not Fund One has an environmental science or equivalent course.
Mhm.
I know that Milton Academy has an advanced environmental science course. And I was thinking if there's a Milton resident at either one of those schools, they would seem to be qualified on par with a
Mhm.
Milton resident at Milton Public Schools.
That's right.
There's some thoughts. And what if there were a Milton student in an environmental science or equivalent course at Kerry College?
They could be appointed as a resident. I think they wouldn't be. They couldn't take the high school students.
Correct.
Right. Very college.
There was a hosted by Kerry College at the March annual meeting of the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissions.
Mhm.
So we could possibly get down that track and see what's going. If you're looking for someone at large who's actually doing work in this area at the collegiate level.
I think I'm not sure how the seats will get assigned, but Ron was the select board designee, and Matt and Kyle are the residents with relevant expertise seats. I think our committee partner committee designations have all been filled for us. The planning department representative, conservation commission, school committee. Because the select board just needs to choose their designee. And then, the town administrator has an appointment as well. So, I mean, I think one of the ideas is town administrator could appoint a staff member even, whose work we impinge upon it.
Mhm.
If we chose to. So I think there are a lot of options, and particularly intend to use the quieter summer months to try to build out our team. Any other comments or questions on this topic?
The high school have an environmental club or
It does, yeah. So they have a recycling club, but I was in the high school for my daughter's flute lesson last week and saw a new club. Just a picture of it, but
Yeah, I
There
started
was-
following like an environmental club on Instagram or whatever, just so I could kind of get a feel for who these were. I mean, of course, it's the end of the school year, but, and I have a couple of kids at the high school.
the eco-friendly club. Are you interested in making Milton a cleaner, more eco-friendly community?
Oh, there we go. These are our people.
So, yeah, they started May 21st.
it's a great platform for them.
Yeah. So it would absolutely welcome help from all of you, getting the word out. I did, write a medium and a short blurb, and I distributed it to the Milton Interfaith Clergy Association. But just thinking of all the newsletters that are out there, the library, the schools.
But this might be a great role for you because, yeah, I have a son in high school too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm dad and all of us are older.
Yeah.
But you know the social media, you know the lingo and so you might be able to relate a little bit more to, that.
And I was just thinking, you probably wanna make it appeal to a high schooler more, cause like you told them like, oh, come sit down at a meeting at 6:30 p.m. They're probably like, no, you can't.
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
can make this more attractive to a high school student, it'd be good for us too.
Yeah.
It's a little dry.
Meet their service requirement at the high school.
Yeah,
Exactly.
60 hours.
I'm sure a lot of high schoolers would be open to doing a lot of social media stuff, if you can make it appeal to them in a certain way, if you tell them you're gonna make social media posts for the town, I'm sure somebody would be interested in that.
Yeah.
It would be, yeah, I would just say we try to make it more appealing to the younger.
Sustainable Milton had a high schooler volunteering with us to do graphic design last year. And that was great. You can define a clear task with an outcome you can feel good about. And we've had that in working towards the climate leader communities, and knock on wood, we may get there any minute. But then I think we need to zero in on some strategic goals for next year. I mean, I think we're waiting to see if we get the EEA planning grant, and if that comes through, I think that we'll spend relatively more time on the kind of public meetings and finalizing the draft plan, taking it through an approval process, the kind of completing the work of the charge. I think we need consulting support to do that properly. I remain very interested in supporting residents in their clean energy journey. And that has to include affordability now, right? So I think what you're starting to work on, I think is exactly the kind of thing I'd like to spend time on.
I'm not sure if you'd sent me this, but I asked Eric to look into this initiative that came from Montgomery County, Maryland, which has been doing lots of cool stuff, but it's this a nonprofit called, remind me.
Solar United Neighbors.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit called Solar United Neighbors that partnered with this company called I Choose R, and they've been pioneering group purchasing programs for solar and heat pumps. So the basic idea is that if a bunch of residents, maybe coordinated or organized through an organization, come together, then they can get better, more advantageous pricing for solar panels, for heat pumps. And it's something, it was a discussion that started among my energy manager colleagues. And I asked Eric to look into that a bit more, And I guess I can share the memo.
Yeah, I did just finish that up, so
Yeah,
I think it was complete, but maybe there's more to add to stuff, but yeah, it was basically saying. With the group purchasing program, it's almost a 10 to 20% price cut because. Of the just incentive to the contractor that can bulk purchase all the equipment and stuff like that. They also they have a group of clients so they can reduce the prices that way. They use a reverse auction program that it looks for the lowest bid instead of the highest bid. Which there's good and bad to that. If you're not vetting the contractors enough, then you might just be getting a guy just tossing the lowest number, just not doing the best work. Other issue with that are whether they're local companies or out-of-state companies. Some out-of-state companies might not care, might not be the best customer service people to this area because they're not living in it. So yeah, that was just some of the things, but it's a pretty straightforward process. You just have a meeting with Solar United Neighbors. With the town, there's not much the town has to do. Solar United Neighbors reaches out and communicates all the information and material to the residents. You guys, the town just basically has to sign off on it, allow them to use like the town logo, I think is what they said, some other thing. It's all in the document, so I can send that to you guys. We'll have it to respond to other stuff.
Where do they get their funding?
That's a good question.
something you can look into.
Because it is a nonprofit, so it's. I think they get a little bit of each, like. Purchase, like every time someone signs up for it, I think they get a little bit percentage of what they're paying the contractor, I wanna say. And that's how they fund, but I'll definitely look into that.
It's in the Google summary. Solar United Neighbors is funded by a diverse mix of philanthropic foundations, government agencies, individual donors, and earned income from its on-the-ground programs. Does not receive funding from or affiliate within solar installation companies.
That's good.
Were any of you in Milton for the Solarized Milton program? I think it was like 2015, 2017.
Oh, that already happened? I didn't even know that.
There
There's
was-
something similar.
There was one. I wonder how it's different, but it's definitely kind of a group purchasing strategy. So, and it's a sensible thing to do because I learned recently that the soft costs of sales and just sitting at dining room tables with, 5 or 6 families in order to sell one system, is 20 to 30% of the cost of an average system in Massachusetts. So if you can cut out those soft costs, you can give people a better price.
Exactly, I think they were saying that contractors were saving like $300 to $500 per job when they did the buyback program themselves, so it's. Which may sound small, but it definitely adds up over time.
Great. So the next item on the agenda is working group updates. It's kind of a grab bag. Who's got updates?
We can do a little bit of on the working group on waste management,
Yes.
because we met earlier this week and discussed a number of topics, and one of which is planning for a community engagement program, probably sometime in the fall, bypassing summer vacations and allowing time for adequate planning and involvement. The work that has begun on a local audit, community audit of recycling was very successful. According to Cassie, she had a lot of conversations, both positive and negative, and plans involving for including other people in the process in the future, such as students doing public service, a community service initiative in the public schools.
How did the audit work?
It's random sampling for the community of the blue bins when they're on the sidewalk. Primarily to see whether or not people have plastic bag recyclables and put them in there. That's the major offense and driver of increased costs.
Right.
I was reading this week, that the city of Quincy between 2022 and 24 reduced their this is called contamination, but it involves some other things too, like people who decide to put regular trash in there or a yard waste.
Recycling.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
they reduced theirs from something over 10.8% down to 6.5%.
Oh, I wonder how they did that.
That's what I'd like to do a little bit of homework on.
Yeah.
And this, of course, affects the cost that's borne by the Milton residents. Because the higher the contamination rate, particularly when that's to 15% or above on a sampling basis, then the rates have to go up because the carrier has to absorb the costs that are associated with separation of materials and then offloading them into the appropriate.
Remind me the name of our hauler,
It's waste management.
waste management.
Plant that we use is an Avon, which is also the same plant that Quincy uses.
What is Sunrise Scavenger? Is that the solid waste?
Yeah, the solid waste, I think.
Yes,
And so it's single-use plastic bags that are the biggest offenders?
yes,
Was it?
that's the biggest thing.
Like grocery bags or like garbage bags?
Either,
Plastic.
yeah. Anything that can get tangled up. I watched, so Canton is having this problem, way too much contamination, and they had sort of what we were talking about, having like a community engagement meeting. Only a few people were there, but I watched a video of it, and they had someone from the facility in Avon just talk all about the challenges that they have with but besides plastic bags, which gum up the machines, the other big problem is batteries.
Batteries?
Batteries can start fires, and he said that they all, like, he said, they lose sleep over the idea of somebody putting like even let's say a lawnmower battery or some like big battery in there, thinking
The rechargeable lithium ions,
that kind of
but
thing.
not alkaline batteries that say they go in the trash, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sounded like it was bigger batteries that could like, the facility had an incident like this a few years ago, and it got like shut down for like a week or more just because
And ideally, the alkaline battery shouldn't go in.
Yeah, none of the
They
batteries.
go in the trash.
Right?
Yeah.
And now there are two facilities in Milton. It shouldn't go in the trash.
It should not.
It should actually be put into facilities that accommodate them. And we had one at the DPW.
Even the ones that are labeled, this goes in the trash.
If it's labeled that way, then that's another matter.
No, I know the button batteries don't. There's a whole bunch of batteries that
Right.
don't go in the trash. And
Exactly.
it's
And
easy to
facility.
figure
Yeah.
out, but
Now there's a.
Who knows in her office, yeah.
Here at
Yeah.
yeah, right in there. And there's been discussion about the possibility of seeing whether a depository can be placed at the other two fire stations after this matures. Gets underway.
what was the name of that vendor?
The offender,
No, a vendor.
waste management,
No, for the specialized collection in the office
the
here.
town does it,
Oh, okay,
town collects them. Who they vended to,
right.
I offload to that.
We're at 15% or so, it's the town.
Last time, just below 15%. I think
Yeah, sounds about right.
he's pretty
That's
close.
pretty high.
Yeah, it is. It was, when I went on an audit 2 years ago with Cassie's predecessor, we were about 12%. And the audit prior to that was at 10%.
It's getting worse.
So we need a good communication program.
Yeah, and I think holding a sort of traditional public meeting when we want them to know about trash, but I don't think anybody wakes up going, you know what I want to do today? It's like,
Go learn about it. I know.
go learn about
Yeah.
what to put in which bin. So we probably need to go where people are with really bite-sized information and
And
lots
it-
of repetition.
And it has to be ongoing, continuous, and then repetitive. You have to build out a calendar. cycle, if you will.
Yeah,
Because new people come into town, we have lots of new people in town.
right.
It shows costing the taxes.
But
Do we know what the incremental cost of,
we've asked for that information, we haven't done that yet.
because that would help a lot.
Yes,
You could sort of boil it down to like, this is gonna cost you X dollars. I mean, I'm sure inflation also played a role, but we did see our trash stickers go up by $1.
Right.
On that different legislative level, but I can see that unfortunately, in this new state environmental bond bill, the Senate version, which was gonna provide funding for environmental bonds, but also included other environmental regulations, including a statewide single plastic use ban, did not make it into the House version. So the Massachusetts State House wanted to remove the single plastic use. Yeah,
is that the bill that was voted on today? Because
it was like today or yesterday,
I
and I know
think
that,
by noon today, they voted afternoon.
and I know that Massachusetts is one of the most environmentally minded states in this country. They've been working on it hard for a long time on those single use plastics, but again, it didn't make it into the law. That's bad.
But it's a town by town thing. Right?
It's a town by town, but this would have been a statewide.
Statewide, right.
I lived in Rwanda for 3.5 years, and they do in Rwanda, when you arrive at the airport, they check the suitcases of all those tourists from the United States, and they remove single use plastic bags in.
Wow.
Wow.
Is there a nationwide ban there?
Yeah, they're, when they do something, they're rigorous.
And thank you for the update. Anything from transportation?
Yep.
I will. It's sort of a blend. I mean, as you guys know, I've worked with this committee. I'm on the board of Sustainable Milton. I attend the United Congregational Church next door. And it's been an exciting month for the Green Team with the United Congregational Church. We had a congregational vote a couple of weeks ago to do a big solar installation. And also make a congregational commitment to replace fossil fuels by 2050. Although what I'm most excited about is a commitment to actually do the planning work for what that would entail over the next 12 months, which is more tangible. So that was a lot of work, but a lot of folks assisted. So it was really nice to see a community effort like that take shape.
That's removing the radiators or the boiler or.
We're at a stage where we really need to inventory, like, what is the equipment? We know we have natural gas equipment, so where is it? What kind of ductwork do we have? How's the installation, right? And just collecting that information is work. So getting a clear vote of support lets the staff know that they should spend time on that. So I'll spin that as a building emissions working group update.
Good model,
What's that?
good model.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a collective action problem, and you just need to go where the decisions are being made. And try to steer them, give people a reason to consider. Any other updates? Ron isn't here to do conservation.
What will happen with the conservation sub-working group without Matt?
That's a good question. I know Ron would like to see somebody carry on with that. I think there were some really nice proposals, and the challenge is, you know, assembling a team of folks who can either raise money to pay somebody to do the work, or find volunteers with the right skill set to support some of the work.
We're having some town meetings planned, some town engagement activities.
Um, he was definitely thinking about it, so I would encourage anybody who's interested in helping that move forward to reach out to Ron and yeah, see what the next steps might be.
And there might be somebody in the new ranks who would be interested as well.
Okay, so that will,
Just a follow,
Yeah.
you mentioned of funding. That would be a potential topic for the Community Preservation Committee. Funding source, and the cycle was the 27 now closed last month.
okay,
So that would give a window of opportunity for better people to collaborate on getting ready for proposal for next May.
I think that was, so one of the organizations that Ron had connected with was the Neponset River Watershed Association.
It was.
Sean McCanty from NEPRA had also recommended CPC as a potential funding.
And the Conservation Commission was aligned with that thing.
Right. But as we all know, it definitely, somebody's got to do a fair amount of legwork to go and.
It is a
present
competitive
and
process.
request, yes. But that would, I think, be the path forward for that stuff.
Are they involved with the taking down the dams on the Neponset, or is that just the state?
EPA.
Well, the NEPRA, I think, is involved in advocacy for that. I think it's their position that it should be removed.
I thought the funding was approved or something.
The EPA funding is for cleanup. It's a super fund site, and they're dredging the bottom to remove nasty chemicals.
Right.
FAS.
They have to get that cleanup done before they can remove that dam.
Okay.
Because all of the contaminants are behind the dam. So not just that, but also
Baker.
two dams, both of them, and the Tilliston Hollingsworth Dam is very dangerous because it's in disrepair, it's eroding. So getting the contaminants out from Upperbrook down to that dam in short order was an imperative. And once that's done, then they can remove the dam. And I was trying to creep up on the day, and that would take a lead role in the dam removal.
Advocating for it or doing it?
Advocating for it. They didn't have the resources themselves to do something like that. It's an enormous task.
I can imagine.
But the Taunton Watershed Association, in the communities in that area have removed in part or in total several dams in that arena, and the results have been phenomenally positive. In short order, you'll see wetlands restored for 48 months. Wow, back to pristine condition. It's amazing what happens. And the Baker Dam problem is compounded by the fact that we have 2 centuries of silt coming down in the Neponset River, stored behind that dam with contaminants also. And that raises the level of water. So
Upstream.
yeah.
So with the dam removed, with the water level, it wouldn't impact any of the buildings around the Neponset down there, would it?
I can't answer that.
I've heard that the people who live there don't really want the dam removed, just because it's part of like the whole scene, they don't really want it to change.
And there are different approaches they can be taken. That'd be a major study.
But then you'd have the shad coming back up the river and
Yeah.
they could go fishing.
Yeah,
Is this at Lower Mills or where's this?
Yes.
Baker's at Lower
that's
Mills.
where the Baker Dam is, but the first dam is up toward the Mattapian
Okay.
Yeah.
area.
I mean, it sounds like a public advocacy effort is a little premature with all the work that precedes it, but when they get to that point, I think having a rendering of what it would look like
And they have that actually.
would probably go a long way towards making people comfortable, assuming that it wouldn't look terrible.
And they do have their community engagement, groups from Hyde Park, Mattapan, Milton, Boston. Dorchester, I should say, because Hyde Park's part of Boston too.
Great. Okay, well, the last item on the agenda is just an acknowledgement of the outgoing members. I'm sorry that they're not here to hear it, but send them the minutes. As I said before, Ron Israel and Matt Benucci and Kyle Johnson are not planning to serve on the committee next year. Ron has been serving on the committee for 3 terms. He was one of the founding members when we got started in 2023, and has done a ton of work to envision conservation projects that would make the valuable natural lands around Milton more resilient to climate change, and building connections with relevant organizations in the area. I do hope that, as you said, some of that will continue to move forward. I think they can move forward with or without a toehold in this committee. So a lot of thanks to Ron for all his hard work. Matt also, I think, was a major partner in that effort, and reaching out to our firefighters in Milton to work on the wildfire component of our draft climate action plan. So a lot of thanks to Matt for that. And I think Kyle was a contributor in the transportation working group, right? So, and even just the time and it takes to clear 90 minutes in the calendar once we show up for a super incredibly exciting committee meeting on a regular basis. I just really admire folks who are willing to serve the community in that way. Not splashy, but meaningful. So I want to offer my thanks to all the outgoing members, and my welcome to Stevie Caldwell, and hopefully over the coming months we'll have some more memories to welcome as well.
And thanks to you for continuing.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed at this point. I can't stop. So. Well, great. With that, unless there are other comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
All right, Kim moves that we adjourn. Any seconds?
I'll say.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, everybody, for making time to be here tonight, and we'll see you soon.